What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video. We're here with the season finale of Bel-Air. Now, I know I've been terrible as far as keeping up with each episode and doing reaction recaps to each of them. And I have my own underlying reasons as to why I haven't been doing them. But there's no way that I could have watched that last episode and not give my thoughts on them. So without further ado, let's get into it. I just want to say that as far as black television is concerned, I want to say that Bel-Air is by far the most important of all the shows that I've seen on television in the last couple of years. And I say that because this is a show that's been able to maintain a level of entertainment and substance and meaning on a profound level without having to include crime or like drugs. And what I mean by drugs is not like drugs in a drug dealing sense. So you're not seeing, thug gangsters on the show, and you also see healthy family relationships. Even like you could have a relationship with your family and it could still have its issues. And I like how the show throughout season 1 and season 2, it's been able to, depict like the things that happen, between, family, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend. And I love that. So, I'm very appreciative that they've been able to tell this story in such a really great way, especially all the actors. So I'm going to just talk about each of the characters on the show and I'll give my final thoughts on them. So, I'll talk about Carlton. Now, we've seen Carlton literally progress from somebody that I hate to being somebody that I respect. And then he regressed and went back to square one. But it's like the way that he did, you can't even really blame him. You know what I'm saying? Carlton can't seem to break his drug habits, And one thing that I like that they did in the episode was he came clean finally. Because even me as a viewer, it was hard for me to keep seeing him like lie to people and lie to everybody. And in my mind, I'm like, at what point is he going to get caught? And one thing that Geoffrey told him and Will told him that I liked was like, yo, the truth is going to come out eventually and you're not hurting anybody but yourself. And it's going to come to a point where you can't hide from it. So out of everybody, he won the Founders Award and I think he deserved it. But at the same time, he didn't think he deserved it because Ashley literally just saw him freaking snorting cocaine lines in his goddamn locker room. And in the card that she gave him, it said that, she was telling him that he was her hero and that he was the best big brother ever. So for her to walk in on him doing something like that, it's like, yo, there was no way he could have accepted that award without him keeping it real with everybody else. And most importantly, keeping it real with himself. And Ali's show, yo, when I tell you, like, I love his character. Like, I love him as an actor to the point where, like, he's so good that he made me hate him, then love him, and then hate him again, but respect it. You know what I'm saying? And, he just put on, in my opinion, like a masterclass, of acting, on this damn show, this whole entire time. And it's like, between season 1 and season 2, I've just, like, even at the times that I didn't like his character, it's like I still enjoyed seeing him, you know what I mean? And you grow to just come accustomed to these characters when you watch them every week. You get to know them and you feel like you know them on a certain level. So and one thing I really appreciated, and this shit literally brought me to tears, literally, was when Uncle Phil confronted Carlton about it finally, and they had their back and forth. And honestly, like, there wasn't really much for Carlton to say, but what I liked was that he told Phil, he was like, yo, I know I'm not the son you've always wanted. He's like, yo, I'm not that strong. I'm not as strong as you would like me to be. And his father really had no choice but to accept it. And, being somebody that I didn't grow up having, healthy family relationships, and I never had, examples of a great dad or a great mom in my freaking life. It's like when I see these things, it's like, yo, I appreciate it. And I kind of experience it vicariously through watching the show. And I applaud Ali's show for really doing his thing and really, taking the character of Carlton and taking it to the next level, and most importantly, making it his own. So, all the BS that I've ever said about him, aside, all jokes aside, I love that character, because of his mistakes. It's not the humor that really gets me invested in the character. It's more so their mistakes and how human they are and how much I can actually relate to them. I've never did hard drugs, but his relationship with his father, I really resonate with. So, shout out to Carlton and shout out to Ali's show, for sure on that. Jazz. Now, Jazz, I didn't like Jazz at first, but he just went on to be one of my favorite characters. And one thing I really liked about his relationship with Hilary is that they showed how real it is, because what they went through in season 2 is exactly what guys go through with their girls in real life. When she's got like some ex-boyfriend or some guy that you don't like that comes sniffing around, and then it creates problems in your relationship. So when LaMarcus showed up, it got to the point where it made them break up because he was so insecure and he couldn't deal with it. So he pushed her away before she could push him away. And I feel him on that. And it's not that he didn't care, because he cared the entire time, but it's like, it is scary to put yourself out there for somebody to end up hurting you in the long run. And guys, we feel that too. So that actor, I didn't even know his first name, but that actor, bruh, like I said, him did his thing. One thing I really liked during the episode was when he pulled up to, well, as a matter of fact, no, even before that. So he met up with Will, and mind you, if you want to have a friend, you want to have a friend like Jazz, because not only a friend that's going to be there for you, but a friend that's going to call you out on your BS and tell you the truth at the end of the day, whether you want to hear it or not. So when he was talking to Will about Hilary, he said to Will, he was like, yo, like, I really feel like, I messed up the best thing that ever happened to me, in terms of, like, women. And I felt him on that. I really did. Like, that hurt me when he said that shit. And, Will was like, yo, you still got time, because she was about to fly out to Paris to go, be with LaMarcus and stuff. And respect to Marcus. I can't even knock him for that, because the way that Marcus feels about Hilary, I feel him on that too. Like, I relate to both of them. So when he goes to Hilary's house, what really spoke to me was the fact that he was like, yo, like, if nothing else, I'll feel better knowing that I don't have any regrets. Like, I could walk away from you knowing that I left all my cards on the table. And he told her the truth. And she said that, she was really hurt by what happened between the two of them. And he didn't even know that. Like, us as guys, like, we don't even be knowing, like, how girls feel a lot. And a lot of times, there's always like a gap in communication as far as those innermost like feelings are concerned. He didn't even know. She said she didn't get out of her bed for days. She canceled all her plans and all that stuff. He didn't even know. Like, he didn't even know she was feeling like that. And she said, yo, it hurts. And he told her, he was like, yo, but love hurts. And she said, can you promise me that it's not gonna hurt again? And I said it even before he said it. And I said, yo, like, I can't promise you that. Like, I can't promise you that being with me is not gonna hurt sometimes, because it is going to hurt. Like, because that's just part of love. Like, love is like just this multi-layered emotion and thing. And love is not just roses and rainbows like she thinks it is with LaMarcus, because I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line that's going to come with its own issues. I'm pretty sure. And he had to tell her the truth, because love is honesty. I'm not going to lie to you. As much as I love you enough not to lie to you and act like things are going to be perfect forever, because that's not true. Me hurting you, through no like purposeful intent of my own, that just comes with it. Just like how she didn't mean to push, Jazz away when LaMarcus showed up. She didn't mean to do that. Things just happened. He didn't mean to push her away. That was just a subconscious, like defense mechanism that he did. And I feel him on that, because us as men, we do that all the time. And when he was literally like fighting back tears talking to her, I was like, yo, that is acting. That is acting, because I was 100% rooting for him. And mind you, if you watch some of my older reactions to the show, I was hating on their relationship the entire time because he's short, but he compensates for that in being a real dude, like a real solid, authentic, genuine dude to Hilary and to Will. Like that, like it's like people like Carlton are the types of people that I get along with in real life, you know, because obviously it's a fictional character, but I feel like art imitates life. So I think people should strive to have those sorts of characteristics in their day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying? And Jazz is just a perfect example. Like, yo, it's best just to say how you feel right off bat than to not say nothing. Because when you don't say nothing, this dude, you know, the next guy is just going to come up while she's waiting for you to say something. Because most girls, they'll be like, okay, so if he's not saying anything to me, then that means he doesn't care. And which is not true. But again, it's just because us as men, we're just afraid of saying how we really feel. That's just scary. But I love how they just captured how real it is, because it is really like that in real life. So I feel like following this dude on Instagram, that's how good he is. Like Carlton, freaking Jabari Banks, and Ali Show, I'm about to follow all three of them on Instagram, because like I literally just be taking mental notes, like watching them, because you know they're just that great at what they do, and I rock with that. So and the thing is, at the very end of the episode, he thought that Hilary was going to show up to his door, and she didn't. It was the mailman. And what I said was, I'm like, yo, you know what? That's okay, because the victory was you got it all off your chest. You told her how you really felt, and she will do with that what she will. But all that matters is you told her your truth. You feel what I'm saying? And that's really how it is in real life. So that actor, I feel so bad that let me find out what his name is. Hold up, real quick. What is his name? Jordan L. Jones. Shout out to Jordan L. Jones. He is that guy. He is that guy. So shout outs to him, bro. Hopefully I'll meet him one day, because I'll just be like, yo, bro, I was sitting at home watching you play Jazz, and I'm like, yo, this is the smoothest character ever. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Jazz. Uncle Phil. Now, Uncle Phil, I think, you know, he has done an amazing job being like the new generation TV dad, because I don't think any modern shows have ever reached that level where somebody will call an actor on that show their TV dad. I could be wrong, because I don't watch a lot of new shows now, but the way that he just shows what being a good dad is supposed to be, I rock with that. Like, not only him as an actor, but how he just, you know, because it makes me like long, like to just to have that in real life. And it's almost bittersweet watching Uncle Phil, because I'm like, yo, I wish I had a guy like that in my life. You know, just someone that like will have my back unconditionally, even if I mess up, even if I make a mistake, even if I'm 110% wrong. It's like that's still not going to stop him from being a good dad and having my back. Like, you see that, you know, Uncle Phil gives Will the space to be himself. You know, Carlton, you know, Uncle Phil gives him the space to be himself. You know, obviously, you know what was going on behind the scenes aside, but it's like you could tell that he loves his family. And in real life, it don't always be like that. It don't always be like that. If it is like that for you, great. But for a lot of us, it is not like that. And it's like, for me, again, you know, I love watching Uncle Phil really like handle business, you know, in the office and in the house. And again, he was upset at Carlton for everything that was going on behind the scenes, because of course it's not going to feel good to know, wow, you know, my son has been lying to me about who he was for 2 to 3 years. And I've been supporting this guy's drug habit the whole entire time. So, and I understood why he was mad. That was the first time that Uncle Phil legit freaking went off, like really got mad, like really pointed his finger at Carlton, was like, yo, you're messing up right now. And I understood, and I was like, yo, you know, I get it. But at the same time, he was still able to go back to Carlton at the end of it all and say, yo, I got to be there for him. Because parenting is not just like talking down on your kids. Your job as a parent is to make a meaningful lifelong connection with your kids. So it's like, yeah, I know you're my parent, but I should never feel like you don't have my best interest or you don't have my back, or even if I stray from, you know, your vision for me as my parent, you know, you should still support me no matter what. And I like that, again, Uncle Phil always has their back, whether it's Hilary, whether it's Will, whether it's Carlton, whether it's Geoffrey, like he always has their back and he's a solid guy. So it's like me, the type of man that I want to be, I take inspiration from Uncle Phil. The old Uncle Phil and the new Uncle Phil. Carl Winslow, all my TV dads ever, I take inspiration from them. So when people ask me like, what kind of dad, you know, do you want to be, or are you going to be in the future? I think of that. Like, to me, that's what being a father is. Yeah, it's a television show, but again, like, I strive to have those qualities within myself, because to me, being a man, I want it to look like that. Like, me being a father is going to look like that. So it was funny. I feel so bad for not knowing these actors' names. I just know the characters on the show, but the actor that portrays Uncle Phil on the show, amazing. You know, 10 out of 10, you know, 10 out of 10. And I also like, even though, you know, things went left with that Zenith basketball team and stuff like that, he still heard Will out and he still supported him, because that pretty much went left, like as bad as it could have gotten, and he still was there for him. You know, so anyway, that's my thoughts on Uncle Phil. Will, you know, every single recap, I always sing Jabari Banks' praises, and like I will never stop, because he again is one of those few actors, one of the few young black male actors that I rock with 100%. Like, I watch him and I'm like, yo, that is acting. Like, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just over the top, over the moon about, you know, all of them. But him, again, like, he, sometimes, I'm not even gonna front, sometimes he reminds me of Will Smith, and he does a great job at capturing that essence. But again, I think that's just inherently within him anyway, because he's from like Philly in real life, you know, so it makes sense that somebody who's actually from there can actually play that character, because that's who he actually is. But I'll say with Will, you know, again, I really appreciate how he's always there for Carlton. Like, despite their differences, he's still there for him. And even though he was in the running to win the Founders Award, he was still happy for Carlton, you know, winning the award and stuff like that. And I also like how between him and Lisa, they were meant for each other. And I always felt that way. You know what I'm saying? Even when he was with the other girl and Lisa was with, you know, that bum ass dude, I still felt like they were going to get back together anyway. And obviously that's part of, you know, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you know, storyline. So I figured they were going to end up together at some point anyway. But I liked how, you know, at the very end, he was like, yo, forget what we said. How do you feel right now? Like, how do you feel? You know, and really, I got to take notes from that, because when you're really feeling some kind of way, you just got to tell her. You just got to tell her, like, screw protecting yourself, because what you really want is on the other side of that anxiety of how she's going to respond. And I really rock with that, like, because the actress of Lisa is like very attractive, but again, like, I like the character of Will and Jabari Banks so much that I don't even mind him doing this thing with her, you know, on screen. So shout out to Jabari Banks, man. I'm telling you, like, he is doing his thing as the lead actor on that show. And mind you, this is like his first thing. So to see him really progress as an actor from season 1 to season 2, to me, that's just masterclass. So shout out to Will, shout out to Jabari Banks, and I'm looking forward to see him doing his thing on season 3. Geoffrey. Now, even in season 1, I always knew that there was something more to Geoffrey's character. And I knew at some point we were going to get to know him on a deeper level. So to see that he actually had family in the UK, that was dope. And I've always said that you want a right-hand man, an ace like Geoffrey, like right there, always having your backs. And he always shows up at the right time. I was even saying during the episode that, like, Geoffrey's the type of guy that he'll see the molecules change in the room. Like, he just knows everything. Like, he's just a guy that he just when something is up, he has that just inherently within him to know something is wrong. And then it doesn't take him that long to find out what's happening. So when Carlton won the Founders Award, he already knew that somebody wasn't clapping in there, and then he looked down at, you know, little Ashley, and then he was like, yeah, something is up. And then what ended up happening? Carlton told the truth. So, you know, so he is so much more than just the, you know, mysterious, enigmatic, you know, 007, you know, right-hand man, you know, agent for Uncle Phil. And he's actually a character with layers. And I like that about him. You know, it's like when he comes on screen, like he just pops out and it's dope. Now, I don't know if it's his son who was calling him from that unknown number, or I don't know if it was like, I don't know who it was, because somebody took a picture of Geoffrey and his son at that restaurant, and I don't remember him asking anybody to take any pictures for him. So something is going to happen in the future. I don't know what it is. Maybe he has some enemies out there. I don't know. But, you know, knowing Uncle Phil and Geoffrey, it's going to turn out all right. So, you know, shout out to him. Also about Uncle Phil, the one thing I will say is I don't think it's right for him to start cheating on Aunt Viv, despite what she did in season 1. Because I still remember when Michael Ealy showed up, she was doing a whole lot of flirting. You know, but I don't think he has a legitimate reason to want to cheat on her at this point. You know, so when Geoffrey was like, yo, like a woman that wants you that bad, he was like, that has to feel good to any man. So it's like, and most men, and I'm not even gonna lie, like, yeah, the idea of having your cake and eating it too, like, you know, that does sound appealing. But at the same time, I don't think, you know, Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil really went through anything at this point for him to want to go sniffing around, you know, Erica, I think her name is, because it's just not going to end well. And then, so if we think that, you know, the family has had problems before, they're definitely going to have problems if he really falls back or goes down that rabbit hole again, because they had that problem, you know, and she kissed him. You get what I'm saying? And he's like, oh, I got it under control. I got to play her game. And I'm like, nah, bro, like, because I know where that's going to go, especially she was looking good. I'm not going to act like she didn't look good, because she was looking good. So, Uncle Phil, you know, nobody's perfect. And that's the other thing, too. The show does not project, like, perfection on any of these characters. And Uncle Phil, you know, even though he comes off as a quintessential man, he's not perfect. And he's subject to his own vices and temptations. Clearly, you know, in the form of Erica, you know, a former flame. So, who else? Hilary. Now, you know, I think the last like 3 or 4 episodes, it really gave me, you know, like a peek into the female perspective, you know what I'm saying? And like how girls feel on the other side of breakups, because I don't have any female friends like right now, you know, currently. So, you know, platonic female friends, that is, for me to really know how women actually respond and deal with breakups, you know. So it kind of gave me an idea to see how they really feel. Now, I don't knock LaMarcus at all for trying to get her back, you know. When you feel like you found a good thing and you lose it, if there's an opportunity for you to get it back, you're going to get it back, and you're not going to mess it up again. And I completely understood, because when he first showed up, when LaMarcus showed up, I was like, oh, okay, who is this dude? Get him out of here, you know what I mean? But then as I started to see who he really was, and when he started to speak from a certain, you know, perspective and started to say certain things, I was like, yo, I feel him on that. Because if given the opportunity with a couple of my ex-girlfriends, shit, I'll take it, and I'm not gonna mess it up either. So if I had the same resources and means that he did, there's no way I'm messing it up a second time. So I feel him on that. And she did show up for Jazz. Like, it's not like, you know, she didn't try, because she said, like, yo, she called him mad times, went straight to voicemail. She texted him mad times. He didn't respond. You know, and I've been that guy where a girl will try to call me and I'll block her number, or I just won't respond. I've literally done that many times before. So it makes me kick myself in my own ass, because now I see how I may have come across in the past to girls that, you know, I had something going on with. You know, the girls that I dated, I was in a relationship with. And it sucks, because they could have just talked about it had they really just been at the right place at the right time. Because when, like, Jazz didn't even know. She was watching his Instagram live the entire time. He didn't even know. And but the thing is, she was gonna text him, but she didn't. And then you had LaMarcus there doing everything right. Dude, he's a rich football player. He's got the mansion. He had the resources to help her out. He did everything right. So it's like, she has every reason to walk away from Jazz, and she didn't, because when he wanted to hop in the hot tub, she went to his party. And she just happened to walk in at the wrong time, because when she walked in, she saw him dancing with other girls, not realizing that he was constantly looking through the door the entire time, looking at the door, waiting to see if she was there. And then she walked out. I wish she would have walked up to him, but that's how girls are. Like, girls will not, like, they'll, like, I wouldn't even say girls will meet you halfway. Girls will meet you like a quarter, like, percent, like 25% of the way, and then you got to go the other 75%. That's usually how it is. And, you know, like, I've been there. So it's like, I for once, you know, I'm not just talking about how good she looks, and I can actually say that her character actually, you know, did something for me in terms of how, you know, I think of women and their own, you know, emotional processes and how they deal with things. So, you know, and she's entitled to pursue whatever she wants to pursue to make her happy at the end of the day. So if she feels that LaMarcus is the man for her, then, hey, you know, more power to her. You know, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? And then that gives Jazz an opportunity to be with who he wants to be with. Maybe Ivy, you know, will spin the block. You know what I'm saying? Because she wanted to holler at him, so maybe that'll happen and he could get with her. You know, who knows? But I think that was the coolest thing about Hilary this season, is that I really got a peek into the female perspective, and it makes me want to just go back to the drawing board as far as how I deal with women when we start going through something, you know. And it pays, again, just to be upfront, because the longer you wait, some other guys is gonna come up, sweep her off her freaking feet, and then by the time you tell her, she's gonna be like, well, yeah, but this dude is here now, and you're asked out, you know. But shout out to Coco Jones. She is very beautiful. She's a great actress, and I enjoy watching her, and that's my thoughts on her. And Viv, I don't really have much to say about Aunt Viv. I think she did, you know, her thing this season. Like, I don't have that many critiques about her. I just think that, and there were a couple of things that I think I missed from her argument with Uncle Phil, because basically she took the old Aunt Viv's job, and she was kind of a bit leery or guilty about doing so, and what the old Aunt Viv was going to say about her. I don't know her character's name. I'm sorry. And, you know, Uncle Phil was basically telling her, well, maybe, you know, you could do this. And then she all of a sudden starts to just word vomit on him. It's like, oh, well, I'm always telling you to push through your obstacles, but now you're telling me to back away from them. And it's like, yo, he's just trying to help you. Like, it's not like he's telling you not to do it. He's just telling you, you know, he's just proposing another way to do it that won't stress you out, because he doesn't like to see you stressed. Which, again, they've had worse problems than that, you know, so that's why, you know, I don't really have that much to say about her, other than the fact that, again, she's just a great parent. Like, she just does a great job at showing how mothers are supposed to be. It's like the only time I've ever seen a parent ever take their kids' feelings into account is on this show. You know, modern wise, you know, I'm not talking about, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or Family Matters back in the day. This is the only show I've seen in I don't know how many years where I've seen parents think, well, how does he feel? Maybe we need to be there for him, because I've never seen it in real life, ever. You know, like, because if I could build parents from scratch, they would be like Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil. It would be just like them. It would not be like the parents that I have in real life right now. Absolutely not. You know, all shots fired. You feel me? And I don't give a shit. You know, but you know, she's done her thing, and again, like, it's just more black people need to watch these shows. Like, I know we like to watch Snowfall and Power and stuff like that, but I feel like those shows, you know, and I like them too, but they perpetuate like a bad narrative with black people, you know, because people see these things and like they subconsciously take it into their subconscious. But people could stand to benefit from watching Bel-Air, you know, and if they're watching it with the same set of eyes that I'm watching it, you know, with. So shout outs to the actress that plays Aunt Viv, and shout outs to the character of Aunt Viv. Younger Ashley, you know, good character. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I didn't like was just how she got mad. She was still mad at Carlton, and I get she's a kid, but I didn't like how she was still mad at him even though he confessed and apologized. She still wanted to be mad. And I was like, all right, go ahead and be mad, because Carlton did what he was supposed to do. Yeah, he might not have been upfront with it when you asked him, when you asked him about the truth, but as long as he came out with it, that's all that matters. And then all of a sudden, the little white girl from her class all of a sudden is like, oh yeah, so what are you doing this summer? And I was like, yo, mad tokenized, straight tokenized. Like, I'm not with that. Like, to me, that was mad forced and that was mad corny for them to have just tried to sneak that in there before the episode ended, because I don't have anything against people who do that, but I don't know, like, that to me, it wasn't organic. Like, if she's going to be, LGBTQ, fine, but let her be that in a more organic way. I think the way that they wrote that into the show, it's like she's the token character, and then she's the character that is spewing like tokenized, rhetoric that you'll hear ultra liberals be spewing, these days. And again, that's fine. People can do what they want to do, but if it's gonna be like that in the story, let it be like that naturally. You get what I'm saying? So, but the actress, good actress, good character. I just have minor, grievances. So that's my thoughts on Ashley. The dude who plays the guy who was Lisa's boyfriend, I didn't even know his name, but he's trash. I don't like him. There's nothing about his character that is cool. Even if he was, like, how should I say? Even if he was onto something as far as Carlton was concerned, the way that he went about everything was trash. And then on top of that, he got his ass whooped, because I didn't get a chance to, I think, review that episode. But he got his ass whooped, and then he's just an asshole. So I hope, like, in season 3, like, he gets shot or he gets hit by a car or some shit like that, because I'm so tired of seeing his Miss Piggy looking ass, like, on screen all the goddamn time. He's a good actor. He's a good actor enough for me to, like, hate him this much, but, like, his character, I don't like him at all. And it's like he says things, he's just negative. It's like he says things to people to try to rent space in their mind. So he'll, like, spew some shit to you and then walk off, and then you see, like, whatever it is that he said, like, festering in people's minds and shit like that. And I'm like, yo, like, words are powerful. So it's like a motherfucker like that, I'm straight slapping him. You know what I'm saying? I'm punching him in his I'm washing his ass. Because notice how he be starting with Carlton, but he never says shit to Will. And he's that type of character that shows that people know who to start shit with and who not to start shit with. Because Will was just walking up with his girl. He didn't say anything to him. But he's always walking up to Carlton all the time, like, starting problems with Carlton, because Carlton is short. That I don't appreciate that. It's like every time he shows up on screen, it's like I want to fight him for Carlton, on Carlton's behalf, because that nigga just gets on my nerves. So, anyway, throw that nigga away. Throw him all the way away. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So, anyway, this has been a phenomenal season 2. And again, it exceeded my expectations, because, I think this was the first episode of Bel-Air that really moved me to tears multiple times, like twice in one episode. I was like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, shout out to all the actors, and I love all the characters. I love this show, and, most likely season 3 is not going to come out until, freaking early 2024. So, it'll be a while from then. And yeah, so please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Good luck.